sensitive?
Nah, I know how to do it. I didn't learn how to do it. Before, it used to be like cringy. But now I know how to do it.
Wow.
All right, cool. So we back. God's Dope Podcast, episode 25, special edition podcast.
Oh, 25.
25,
Wow. That's
yeah.
a quarter.
25 is a quarter water.
Oh, whew.
We got my boy. It's another person that needs no introduction, but I'm going to let y'all know who he is just in case y'all don't know who he is. It's a man of many hats. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's, near and dear to me. I've known him for, I would say, the past 5+ years. I met him at the beginning of this chapter, you know what I'm saying, of the God is Dope chapter, and, he's been somebody that I lean on. Just when I need somebody to talk to, advice from, his brother has great insight on life, you know what I'm saying? He's a very grounded brother, he's a blessed brother, you know what I'm saying? He's very blessed, We've been through stuff. He's been through stuff. I've been through stuff. But we still standing. And it's not. I don't think it's a better time than to do this podcast on the last day of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Lee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
AKA Hot Dog Water.
Hey, that's the best introduction I had all day.
All day. Dang. Who did one better than that yesterday, G?
My wife.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
She speaks highly into my life.
Shout out L. Pastor E in the building.
And I met her at your store.
Come on, man.
Something?
What's the name of that store?
God is dope.
Won't he do it?
You know it.
God is what? Dependable on providing.
Hey.
Everything.
Everything.
Did you thank God for waking you up?
Waking you up.
Waking you up! We need to do our own podcast, G.
Man.
That'd be something.
You already know. You just ain't ready.
All right.
I've been ready.
I just put it into the atmosphere. 2021 around the corner.
There we go.
So, all right. So, man, where do we start, man? It's been a long time coming. I know we had a podcast previous to this, probably about 2 years ago, and it never aired.
Never aired, and it was pretty good.
It was a good podcast, and it was. I don't know. At that point, I think I was overthinking a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think in that podcast we talked about so much that I wanted to add clips and you know what I'm saying, go back, and I was just like, I should have just put it out. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I want to add this. We talked about that, and it's just like this time we just gonna put it right out next day.
I mean, I think so too. With that podcast, you were going through stuff. You just moved into that second factory out here in the Met, your larger factory that you had at that time, and you were still trying to understand the boundaries and balances of employees.
Oh yeah. That was
and your role as the owner and the boundaries of that.
Right. It was that was an interesting time, man.
Yeah.
I sometimes it's so much that happened on a day to day, month to month, week to week. I be forgetting until somebody bring it up. But yeah, that was an interesting time, man.
Right. I mean, something about this, it was great, but this is just not seeming right now yet. So I need you to go ahead and.
What you mean, G?
Got a little something for you, G.
What you mean, G?
This is from the people over there at Fruition Hat Co.
What?
We could put their logo down here.
Fruition Hat.
Fruition Hat Co. Black-owned company.
Yeah.
I'm a partner with them, and
Stanzel. Ashley.
Stanzel, Brian.
Okay.
And so they're really doing their thing out here in the Met, and then they have their location at Lenox Mall. And I do all their feathers.
So I can open this
design.
now?
Yeah.
This is a Christmas gift or a New Year's gift?
I need you to put it on.
Birthday? Oh, I need to put it. Okay. Yeah. Say no more.
Like I said, so they started this company, Fruition Hat Co.
They gift wrap. This how they do all their hats, or is this special?
No, that's how they do.
Wow.
This is a luxury hat brand, Black-owned hat brand that listens and understands the culture and the movement that I am a part of.
Oh man, you G. Hold on, G. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all see what's going on. Fruition Hat.
Fruition Hat Co., based out of Atlanta.
That's a huge box. And they got a whole Be You, Be True. How to care for your new fruit. Oh, okay. So this is a fruit?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Okay. So we gonna do this.
So I designed all that stuff. That's right.
You
there.
designed this?
Yeah, with the accessories, the feathers and stuff. Yeah,
With the car?
hand dyed, and they add a little twist to it. But when they come to me when they need the that art, that touch, that Jeffrey Lee touch. So which has been cool because I've been with them since they started out at pop-up tents, and then they inquired me to come along on this journey with them and really believe in me and give me quite a few POs and just let me really just do my work.
Right.
They don't really give me too much direction. They put the PO in and I'm free.
Right. Jeffrey Lee Feathers.
Jeffrey Lee Feathers. And we'll put that website right here.
That's my main man.
Well,
you
looking real clean.
For real? Nah, I mean,
G.
I'm gonna wear this all day. I'm gonna wear this all day. I'm gonna wear it all day. You know what I'm saying? And beyond. But I'm saying, like, most people, they wear it, cameras go off. I'm gonna bring in the new year with this joint.
Gotcha. Stanzel actually put that the whole thing together for you. I called him up and told him what I needed, and came through.
I'm gonna make a donation. I know it's a gift, but I'm gonna still, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna.
I look real clean on you, man.
Let me see. Hold on. You got your phone on you, G? I'm trying to see.
I don't think people really seen this type of charade,
Oh yeah, they haven't. I like this.
Your face
wish I
shape,
was-
silhouette,
Yeah.
been in the hat game for a minute, so we know how to. This is
Yeah.
one of theirs too, man.
That's
Fruition
fruition.
hat. Mm-hmm.
I wish I could turn it this way, so I can't turn it backwards, can I?
I mean, it's gonna be on that side. I mean, yeah,
Nah.
that's cool. You could do it that way. That's you.
All right, cool.
Be true. Be
I
you.
want them to.
Yeah. But yeah, man. But now it feels good. It
Okay,
feels
we
right.
straight.
We straight. We
That was.
straight.
I like how you segued that. It just ain't feeling quite right.
It just wasn't feeling quite right.
Shout out to my man. Never too fly to pray, man.
I feel like we should just start kind of at the beginning a little bit, letting people know how I met you and how really like what our relationship really is.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of people come on here, a lot of people you talk to, but our relationship is a little different than a lot of other people's.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the God is Dope brand at the AUC.
Uh-huh.
When I was working there. So then I got introduced to Market Fridays at Spelman, and I just seen it. That's when I was doing hot dog water then.
Right.
But Never Too Fly to Pray was a collection of hot dog water, so it wasn't even this own entity yet.
Right.
And I just remember seeing these just the young ladies and the guys coming over to your section, but it wasn't like other people's section that was there, because I had built relationships from me already working at Spelman,
Right.
and just really seeing them organically coming to your section and understanding what the message was and what your setup was,
Right.
I think this is before you even really brung tents and carpet and stuff out there.
Oh, word?
Yeah, this was like you were coming up closer to the end. You maybe got there like at 3 or something, 3 to 5 or something,
Oh, yeah.
So it was just like, and I remember, they were buying, and I
Yeah,
pulled you.
because I think the first Market Friday I did, I was indoors. They got the indoor, outdoor. So definitely it wasn't even no tent for sure, because we was indoor.
Right, yeah, it was a smaller thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that when Blue was there?
He would come.
Okay.
He wasn't with me like all
No,
day.
but I know he would come and cut up. He was cutting up. Was that like
Yeah.
the first time, or no? That was a little later down.
That
the
was
line.
probably a little later down.
Okay, but anyway, so it was wrapping up, and I remember I pulled you to the side. I didn't know you yet. I didn't know. I just know that it would end up knowing it was your brand.
Right.
And I remember pulling you to the side and saying, "Do you remember what I said?"
What you say, Jay?
I was like,
Ain't no telling.
I was like, oh, this right here is something, and you have to run with this like this for like 2 years. Run with this straight. Don't change it up like logo and stuff wise. I like
Yeah.
run with it for like 2 years. And mind you didn't know me from a can of paint.
Right.
And I was like sincerely saying this to you. And
Right.
it's really just, a lot of people won't come up to nobody and really feed into them like that. But I felt it in my spirit just to come up to you and just feed into you and just let you know what I was seeing and what I was hearing and not saying you didn't know, but from a different eye.
Yeah.
And I was just feeling like how if you just stick with this and really let this message just grow and not try, how we do with brands, we can do too much because we want everybody to have everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, stick to this, make it known, stamp it.
Right.
And that was my first encounter with you.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember that, G.
Nah, I don't. I know when we talked, it was genuine. Because sometimes if we got similar brands and you out, I got a tent, you got a tent, T-shirts. If people get territorial. You know what I'm saying? You might have been there first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like, who is this new dude coming in? I need to create some problems or I need to do this. But it was just like a brother. You know what I'm saying? Embracing another brother. It was never any animosity. In fact, I just look forward to seeing you. You know what I'm saying? Like this is before, I think I even opened the store. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
wow.
I think when I opened the store, you was one of the first people that just came in there and kicked it for like 4-5 hours. Like,
Bro, yeah.
and that's when we really got to know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
In the
right.
store. When I was, just
Right.
putting stuff up. I think we got pictures from those days too.
Wow.
When I remember I was putting the ivy up to let it hang from the
when we were talking about how can we let the ivy, it was going to be from the ceiling, let it come down. I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
And that was a day I remember I left Spelman, I got off work, and I came straight to the store. And it was so organic. I think we kicked it until it was night. It was like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
into the
into the morning,
like
2,
party
3.
hours.
Yeah, cause we'll get stragglers coming in from outside, leaving department store, and what's this? It's like, man,
Yeah.
it's coming soon.
And the one next door to it was
Mother.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it was like our relationship came so organic and so true, and it was so quick.
right.
It felt like I knew you all my life.
Yeah,
Which, like, looking back on hindsight now, it's really a special thing. Like, God can place you in certain situations. I don't know why I was coming to the store. Maybe I was coming to check it. I don't know.
Right.
But I came there and you happened to be there, and then we just immediately just
right.
kicking
Right.
it and laughing and talking and
Like we was the 6th and the 7th heartbeat.
6 and the 7. Bro,
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
The 6th and if you know the 5 heartbeats, that's my favorite movie. I don't want to speak for you, but is it one of your or is it the?
That is the
Okay.
movie.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
Not
let's-
even favorite. It's the movie.
All right. Bet. So yeah, same with me. So
Shout out Robert Townsend.
Robert Townsend is the GOAT.
That's my dad and on the film side.
Leon is the GOAT.
Leon is the GOAT.
Yeah.
All of them are the GOAT.
Yeah.
Um,
Even Flash.
Flash, because it's lonely at the top. But even us, so we even connected on that, which is crazy. We even connected
Yeah.
on the 5 heartbeats and
We had a 5 heart. I mean, I won't let you friend. We had a 5 heartbeat trivia that I won.
nah, G.
Huh?
How you win?
Because we was going back and forth about questions.
Right.
And I beat you.
No, you didn't beat me.
'Cause you
You
was
start
Googling-
cheating and looking
No,
up the
you
answers.
was good. He was trying to beat me by Googling stuff. So I was like, what was the, like stuff that wasn't even in the movie? The guy wrote out the movie. Like, what was the baby's name? That I'm like, see, you know what?
But how did he know? Because he was looking up my answers and found my questions. That's how you know.
I'm like, this is bull crap. I'm like,
Yo, the 5 Heartbeats is one of the best movies, and the stories of it is crazy. But we would even just have sing-offs in the store,
yeah,
entertaining customers. And I mean, I just remember even you just trusting in me and, leaving me in the store and you going to even to get something to eat. And
right.
it just be me in there, and it became.
You be in that DJ SoundCloud.
I mean, before I even got to SoundCloud, that's not me. Shout out to DJ SoundCloud. But even before that, you know, I would just become an automatic, just me and my nature, a salesperson. And I remember, Rod, yo, come back to the store. This girl wants to buy this $400 jacket.
Right.
And he didn't believe me. And this girl, I sold this girl, like my first things I sold out of God was a $400 jacket.
Yeah, that's when prices was ridiculous. We always had our modest prices, but we had just one pieces that was just like stuff that I would make in the back of the store, and I'd just be like, all right, let's just sell it for $350, and people come in there and be like, all right, I want that. Can you give me another one? I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so I just remember that. Then I started, you know, I wound up like, all right, I want to learn how to DJ. This man literally showed me how to turn it on and turn it off and where the music was. And he said, you figure the rest out.
I showed you how to drag and drop too, Jay.
No, you didn't.
Show you how to drag and drop into the.
Okay, he showed me how to drag and drop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you did. And
Yeah.
he showed me how to drag and drop. But the rest, mixing it or
I don't know how much mixing he was doing, Jay.
I'm a little something. I'm gonna have my little 90s little. A couple times I seen you jumping. It said, "Oh, hold on." You know, like your brother do. Hold on, let me show you something. And jump on there.
Nah, cause we'll go back and forth. I'll play, you'll play.
Right.
It was some good times, man. People don't like. A lot of people don't know how that store used to be in 2016, man.
No, I mean it became where it was during the night. It was really me and you.
Yeah.
Really me and you on a Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
It was me and you.
Yeah.
Employees work during
And we
the
hit
day.
the lights, and people would come in. It'd be a whole vibe, and them was some fun times, man.
Right. And then, but people don't also know that like you really put your all into that store to where like it would be days and days and days that you were just sleeping there.
Yeah. I wouldn't. It was, you know, it was long stretches. I would say, yeah, 4-5 days where I just wouldn't go home. I would sleep in the back, wake up, employees would come in. I would, act like I was up, lights on. We would get to work. They'd go home. I'd be in there just brainstorming. Playing, we had the little golf thing in there, watching movies, go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing.
And like do you people don't like really understand like you did not go home. You were in the store.
Yeah, people thought it was 24 hours.
in the
They
store.
would be able to come at 3 a.m.
Right.
I remember Melissa, she's on like house, like Atlanta, hip hop and all that stuff. She would bring people to the store at 3 to like flex, like he gonna be open, you know what I'm saying, and walk up, be like, oh yeah, I told you my man was here.
Right.
Let me get this. I'm like, so it became a thing to the point where we didn't even have business hours. We just were open when we was open, and people got mad, so I had to create,
Structured.
business, structure and all that type of stuff. But it was lit for, I would say, for probably about 2-3 month stretch. You can come to God is Dope at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I'll be there
right.
ready to sell you. It was kind of dangerous when I think about it now, but that's just what it was.
But you know why nothing happened to you?
Why?
Because God was protecting you. Seriously. Because that was like on a weekday, like it wasn't a lot of police and stuff over there.
Right.
But it was just such an aura over that store
Right.
that God was protecting you.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff that could have happened,
Yeah.
to us.
Because it was happening around us.
Right next door,
Yeah.
in the street.
Yeah. And that's a perfect segue to go into something. I didn't want to bring it up until later, but we can go straight into it. It's a little deep, but I got a phone call yesterday. I ain't gonna say from who. And I was talking to him, and they say, "Man, keep your head on the swivel." They say there's some people that's paying close attention to what you're doing, and they own you. You know what I'm saying? As far as they see you just purchase the property, they see you just closed on a store, and I quote you like they on your ass,
Right.
And for a minute I was just like, not scared, but I just had to sit back and think, and then I just had to, realize who I was, and like you said, that I'm, it's like I'm protected. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And it ain't, it's. I really don't worry about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just based off of who I am and the energy that I give off.
Right. And before you say anything else, I want to rebuke that.
Right.
In God's name right now, we want to rebuke all of that.
Yeah.
In any sense around that.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. And, I mean,
And it's just crazy because I was talking to Jay about it earlier, and he's like, man, why is that a thing in your community when you start to go up the success ladder, you become a target, and because he was like, my white friend that's doing well, because I don't consider myself flashy or anything like that. He said, man, same thing for him. He's like, he would never have to go through that or experience that from another white person or, anybody,
Right.
because it's just only, it just seems like only in our community where people see you, doing good or think you got something that they can attain by, whether it be whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy to, just to wrap your mind around it, and I've never been a person that moved in fear, because, like you said, I truly believe I'm protected. You know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and me knowing you, I don't want people to get it twisted. You don't feel like you're untouchable, but you feel like you know that you are protected and you are safe.
Right.
And you don't just be around here callously walking down the streets and
Oh,
going
no.
crazy anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, even what you're saying, what Jay was saying, it's like in our community, which is, I mean, I feel like it could be in any community, but it's obviously where we're living now, that is like that. And I mean, we have to break that curse. We have to break those realms within what we're doing and who we are. I mean, let's think about this. You're such a target outside of that people want to be around you to learn from you. That's a target. People want to be around you and leech off of you. That's a target.
Yeah.
But you maneuvered through that.
Right.
You maneuvered through these things. Now, you a Midwest guy, so, your mind swag is on a whole totally different level.
Yeah.
And either if it's family or if it's friends or if it's, Joe off the street, the way you think is light years ahead of other people,
Yeah.
So you're not even thinking, oh, I'm getting this. The most recent purchase you have is the new warehouse building. Right. I'm getting this to actually help other people.
Right.
Because you could have got something and built it, like you said, an hour away and been to yourself, but you're doing it. I want it in the city. It's not even just what I'm seeing. You want it in the city because you want to be right here in the city to have a Atlanta zip code. It's because you want to be near the community and help the community.
Right.
And I mean, I'm trying to keep praying and thinking and trusting and having faith in God. Because those are two different things.
Right.
Because people say they can have faith in things, but do you trust it? That's two different things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can trust a chair. If I sit in the chair, it's not going to break.
Right.
But that faith is on things you cannot see.
Right.
You're believing in.
Right.
Your mindset is creating those things.
Right.
Because it's like, I remember it's been times where, yo, G, let's take it back for a little bit. You just had the storm, you needed a factory. Where did you go? What was the first place you went after the factory?
The first place I went after?
I mean, not the factory, I'm sorry, after moving out of the store.
Mattress factory?
the mattress factory, which is a condo,
Yeah.
a condo.
Yeah.
And you built, and you just kept believing and expanding and sowing seeds into other people, during those times. You probably are, getting so much of the mix. This is when we were around each other so much,
Yeah.
so much. And you're just really putting those seeds into these people, even if it was through your dreams or if it's through their dreams. I've known you to help people out getting cars, paying rent,
Yeah.
like seriously, like really helping people.
Yeah.
Like they working doesn't amount to,
Yeah.
not saying nobody wasn't working, but just for you to really trust and believe into them people and what they want to do. And
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
so it's like pushing. It's always going to be people out here. But the devil stays busy.
Yeah.
The higher you get, the devil stays busy. It's just in different ways. When you low, the devil stays busy to keep you low. And then when you high, he stays busy to try to bring you back down.
Right.
So how are some of these ways that you feel like you are continuing to prosper and grow spiritually?
How are some of the ways? I mean, I put a lot of that in my son, man. You know what I'm saying? Just being around my son and just wanting the absolute best for him. And, if I leave him anything, you know what I'm saying, it's more than what I came into this world with. And, I try to keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the times, because sometimes I feel like I be over, like, cause really everything I do is literally for him. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I just be like, man, like, am I going too hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this gonna mean anything to him? You know what I'm saying? Once he get of age, and
Right.
just all type of stuff, or would he be like, oh. There's some kids that get of age and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or I want to do it on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like if that's the case, I got a whole lot of vacation time I can take. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't,
Right.
if I'm just doing it for me, then I'm okay.
Right. But see, now we're primarily focused on thinking it's just for your son. But what you're actually doing out here is for a lot more than your son.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have bought that property thinking this is just for my son. This is just for Junior.
Right.
Why would you buy all that building space?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Your mind, when you probably it comes so ease with you and so freely through your spirit, it's showing that this is not just for your son, and this is you humbly doing this, spending millions on to help other people.
Yeah.
And I know I only can imagine like what you want to do with that. Like once you really have 2 seconds to sit down and think how you're gonna plan that place out,
Right.
what you're gonna do with that, and how it's going to affect just the community.
Yeah. This is the first thing that I'm. I said it to a couple of people that this is probably, this beats any high revenue year, high revenue month that we've ever had. Like just the day I closed on that property, it was the biggest day in God's Dope history. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had factories and things like
Right.
that, but I've never had anything to call my own.
Right.
And for me to really, put my all into, you know what I'm saying? Like 'cause everywhere I've been, I felt like it was temporary. Even my store, I don't own that building, so
Right.
I'm kind of like hesitant to do certain stuff. I just put heating and air in there, you know what I'm saying? Like like this summer, you know what I'm saying?
People don't know we used to
Right.
have propane tanks in there.
Damn, don't say that. We did though,
Oh.
but we had yeah, it was crazy. We by any means necessary, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, now we look back on it. You got it in there, ain't in there now.
Right,
But we
right.
was keeping it warm.
yeah, it was
But if it was me and you in there, hey man, make sure when you come tonight, wear 2 coats and a hoodie.
right.
Be in there
But-
DJing, seeing your breath.
Hey, it was like that.
Bro, it was like that. So, but look, that made me just think about something. It's probably like real random, but it made me think about that people out here, okay, they're still like that, obviously is on top, but I don't even want to give it no more energy. But because you don't carry no money or nothing on you anyway.
Yeah,
You still owe me $10 for that slice of pizza. I'm just playing. But it's the fact that I can't eat Chick-fil-A. So we know that ain't true.
Why you can't?
Allergic to the peanuts. You know
I'm talking
that.
about the salad.
I mean, you never not, bro. Listen, so, see, that's the thing. Rod can do that to people, but he can't do it to me. But listen, so that actually brings me back to another time where, let me just lay this out. Like, our relationship is, this year I've seen you how many times? This is my second time.
Yeah.
Seeing you this whole year.
Yeah.
This whole year. We've talked, we spoke.
Right.
But it's my second time seeing you this whole year. But people don't understand it. But when we do talk, we pick up like we talked every day.
Yeah.
Like we talk, like it's never missing a beat.
Right.
So I mean, we know we're busy, I'm busy, and just instilling these things into our our children, like my daughter, it's things I even show her. It's like I understand that I'm doing this for, I have a wife too, so I'm doing this for my daughter and my wife,
Right.
and regardless, my wife's gonna be good with me. But when obviously me and my wife hand this over to our daughter, she gets an understanding, because it's been times where she's made different products and it's sold out quicker than anything. And it's just amazing to see her mind work. Just let her give her that free range and her mind works. But I also know it's that she sees me and her mother drawing, designing, and doing different things, but she has that creativity on her own. But I was just bringing that back to the son thing. I was just saying that 2 years ago, when you remember we did that house party, that Christmas party.
Yeah, for the single mothers and
the single mothers.
Yeah.
And well, let's tell the people that I know, we did a Christmas party for single mothers. It was an allowance that you have given them to shop for their kids. It was all single mothers, even they had 2 kids, 3. Some of them had like 3 or 4 kids. Mm-hmm. And we invited them to the house.
Right.
And like the kids didn't know about it and everything. And I felt like, and Rod called me to join in. And what I did, I felt like the money is cool and the gifts are cool. And I love that because they didn't get to experience that. But I'm like, what can I bring to the table, or feel like what I did not have, or what they may be missing just maybe one time, or just to start that fire in them, to really show them that they are special, they are worthy, they are superstars. Like we did the classes with them at the house and had them come up with creativity and just make cards and give stuff to their mom, to where when they presented them, you remember I cried.
Yeah, you did cry. I remember.
I cried because I know the feeling of a single mother and her drive into wanting to have stuff and do stuff for her kid, provide for their child.
Right.
And some of them have, like I said, 3 or 4 kids. So just to see the look on their face when the kids gave them, like, what I give them, like hats,
and the pen and stuff like
hat
that.
pins and hat pins, and then the kids wrote something in cards I bought. And I remember Felipe helped us, and with that, and it was like a total experience. Like they never probably been into a house that had steps.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, something so simple as that we could take for granted. Like, them kids was running all around the house. They was having so much fun. It was just allow them to have that experience and to let them know and to see that it's in their reach. Right. To really believe in their flyness and who they are, and to create and to show them that, like, if you have trust and faith, and because I remember just even talking to them to trust in God and faith in God, and to really show them that they can do and be anything they want. Right. There was a lot of like black artists that you had in there that they got to really see, and to see that they can draw, or paint, or just creativity all around the house, or the activities that we were doing was super cool. And I just want to, commend you again on allowing me to be a part of that and for us to really showcase that from our past and through us through them,
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, that year, because like when I do stuff like that, or when I try to do stuff like that, I tend to overthink it. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Biddy,
Biddy, yeah.
Biddy Barnes, that he helped us orchestrate that. They got me in touch with the Boys and Girls Club that that helped us out with that. And like I want to do that all year round. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just have to take the trying out and just do it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I overthink it and I want it to be this. And I, like literally I didn't do much. I just, I think it was 8 of them. We gave them $500 a piece to go shop. And I opened up my house to them. I told them, they can bought them gift wrapping paper. They wrapped the gifts. Kids played downstairs, and we put the gifts under the tree, and they all came. It was a great, you know what I'm saying? It was a great event, and I don't think it should take for it to be Christmas, for stuff like that to happen. And like I said, it's the last year, 2020. And moving forward into the new year, I do want to do stuff like that way more consistently. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? You told me a long time ago that you don't think this is my calling. You know what I'm saying? You was
Right.
like, it's you got something way bigger.
Right.
And me being, 30, plus years old, you would think by now that I would be doing. But, your vision is, it's like, man, you see something in me that I obviously, don't necessarily see yet, but I know it's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know, whatever I'm supposed to be doing, I will be doing it. And we always talk about the baseball team and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stuff like that's the stuff that, like, if I wasn't doing any of this, people always ask, like, what would you be doing? I'm like, man, I would literally be invested in a 12 and under, you know what I'm saying? 12 and 13-year-olds all year round. We'd be at the betting cages. We'd be traveling, playing. But, even if I ain't had no money, I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just helping kids, like, just sports and organized, you know what I'm saying, team activities. It helped me, you know what I'm saying? Specifically baseball, you know what I'm saying? It's a thinking game, Not taking anything away from basketball and football, it's once you get deeper and deeper into that sport, you become more of a thinker. But baseball off the gate, in my opinion, you got to think right away. You can't just be out there hitting the ball and running. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a thinking, sacrifice fly, sacrifice bunt, pinch runner, pinch hitter, stuff like that.
Right.
It's more, calculated. But yeah, that's I'm really excited for that chapter in my life too, because I always tell Tori and Jay, like, man, once running the business stops becoming fun, we shouldn't do it.
Right.
Like when I mean, like, because we got these goals that we see for the business or for ourselves and things like that.
Right.
And it's always, okay, this month we did this, let's triple, let's double, let's do this. And I'm like, bro, if tripling the revenue or doubling the revenue stops becoming fun, let's just put this thing on autopilot and just have a good time. Like, the money, like, excuse me, I guess it takes for you to attain some money for you to have this mindset. And people that don't have money, if they have this mindset, my head goes off to them. But, like, you think that money is the answer, to all of your problems. It's gonna fix everything. It's gonna do this. It's gonna do that. But that's not the case. There's been times where I've looked back. I'm like, man, I was having way more fun. Living check to check.
Right, but I don't feel like money drives you.
No, I don't.
I know it don't. I know money doesn't drive you. I know that, but for you to say it takes money
Takes money to what?
to be able to think like this or to have this mindset. You just said if I was had a 11 or 12 baseball team, if I didn't have no money, I'll figure out how to get the
How to
money.
fund it, yeah.
Even if it wasn't any money, you could the way you create and think, it could be you can do it, go on a dirt road or do it in the street. So
Right.
you will come up with a way to do that. So it's about us as leaders to continue to. So my question is, with you saying that, when it's not fun, or when I feel like it is, I mean, I feel like you're stepping into your calling even more and more. Even with these purchases, it's like, okay, so when do you want to start? This is my challenge to you, is when do you want to start to think about this? When do you want to start doing those things that you know in your spirit that you want to do? And I don't mean it has to be you have to create a whole minor league baseball, kids pop team. I'm saying even sponsoring 3 teams, or
Yeah.
going out there, taking some of the employees as male figures and female figures and showing them how to catch, or like how, when do you feel like you want to start doing that? And because you're saying now I'm in my 30s. Yeah, I remember when you weren't in your 30s and I was.
Right.
And I was the old man.
Right.
So it's like, if it's not now, then when? And if it's not tomorrow?
No, it's now. You know what I'm saying? And Legacy Baseball, I think it's a foundation or something like that, where they got just inner city kids that's down there. They just in the cage learning baseball. They go out to the field. I'm following a guy. I forget his name. But he took, like, the crazy part. He took my old factory and turned it into exactly what I wanted to do. Like the factory we just left out of, the next tenant that was in there was a baseball camp.
Do you not know how that is God showing you?
Yeah. And I
It's in front of you.
And I even talked to the Met about, I'm like, man, what would it take for me to get another space and turn it into, and it's just crazy. Yeah, that is.
But do you not know that God is showing you, like, you have it already?
Yeah.
It's just about you putting it in to play.
Yeah, stop the procrastinating. That's what I'm
So
doing.
yeah, to procrastinate, but I feel like you are setting it up. I feel like, yeah, it is that. But it's also you are setting it up in different ways. It's like all falling into place. That may not have been the space for you. That may have been the space, obviously, for that man.
Right.
Because if you would have did that and probably had this, you probably would have been like, oh, if you would have got this whole row right here,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have been thinking about, let me own my building.
Right.
Let me own my land.
Yeah.
You'd have been comfortable gutting it out, figuring it out.
Yeah.
But now God has opened up a whole nother space
Yeah.
that's like historical.
And we talked about, I talked to you when I talked to you when I first bought the property. I think I mentioned it to you that I wanted to do a school.
Yeah.
And like, that's a perfect place for it. Like, right next to the factory in the city.
Right.
Just, the school ain't got to be huge. It'd be 3,000 square feet.
Right.
It's a big class, just a couple classrooms.
Right.
And that's enough to get my message across, to just to help people from, like, man, we learning it, in here, and we can go out there and apply it right outside.
Right. So that's 2 lands that you have now. That's historical. Your land that you have, your land,
Yeah.
and then your foundational.
Right.
Now think about this now. That's 2 that you have in a short amount of time that God has opened up into your experience.
Right.
That you have that came from something that was already so humongous.
Right. And then if you got to go or finish that, you can. Like, the camera going to keep rolling. Yeah. As long as, is it framed good? All right, cool. Do your thing.
So it's like, now you have that. It's just like, okay, now what are you going to... Just like how you have the calendars here and the layout here and this whiteboard here, it's like now what Rod has his whiteboard. Or Sherrod has his whiteboard, and to understand where his, because you set this up, you have employees, you have, your president, your CFOs, and
Right.
all your stuff, your team leads and your everybody. So it's like now it's like God is he keeps showing you these things that you have that you didn't have in your hand the way you wanted them. Now they're in your hand.
Right.
You know? So
Yeah.
it's like it's like it is your time. It is your season for you to build that. It's time for you to slide in like Eddie Kane. It's time for you to slide in like Eddie Kane.
Yeah.
Not that slide. I
Yeah.
got nothing
no,
but.
no,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I know,
okay, okay.
I know.
But to really slide into Sherrod's purpose, because I've been seeing it in you, and I've been knowing. But it's not me to wake up. Hey, Rod, your purpose is it's your time. Or this is what you should be doing. Or this is you want to do this. It's not. You have to go through your life. You have to go through because I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that your purpose is bigger than God is dope. And God is dope is huge.
Right.
God is dope is huge. But it's like, but what is your foundation around this stuff now? Because it's coming. And it's coming, but I want you, like I said, to think about how you carry it to where you're picking one bucket up, then 2 buckets up, then 3 buckets up. And as you're picking those buckets up, you are watering your soil. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you trying to water all your land at one time with, let me just try to figure out, let me get 70,000 buckets. You pick up that 1 bucket, and as you're watering your land, your seeds are starting to sprout. As you're on to bucket 2, you look behind you. You look behind you, and all these things are starting to sprout.
Right.
Instead of it trying to sprout at one time,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's already you already harvest and you tilled your soil already. So now it's planting them. You got the seeds, brother. You have the seeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's time. It's time, right? And that comes into with anybody. I don't want this to be, just 2021. I'm going to leave this behind me. And because when we wake up tomorrow, it's still going to be 1 million people that got COVID.
Yeah.
It's going to still be, it's not like the world washes itself,
Right.
but it's like, what are you going to do, though, tomorrow? Like literally tomorrow, not because it's a new year on the calendar.
Right. If this was August 15th, the same thing applies.
Right.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, I know this is your baby too, and it's things that you want to do and places you want. Like, I'm super proud of you for just even taking a couple of trips this year.
Yeah.
Like, I am super proud of you for just doing that. Now, when you get down to how let loose you get or have fun where you on your phone telling them what to do, but I'm just happy you got on a plane and went somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because it's been even more obstacles that just came to my mind where the enemy can try to deter you. Do you remember when you had that guy building the back porch?
Yeah.
What was his name? Yeah. And how long was he building that porch?
Ain't no telling, man.
Right.
Probably.
Too long, and it was wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Now that could have been like, no, I'm not gonna have no wood, but I'm not gonna have no porch. It's gonna be a backyard. Or you could have put whatever.
Right.
But when it was time for that open house / my birthday party we had, at the house, it was done, and it looked better than ever,
Yeah.
And you didn't mind people being back there because it was safe,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like we can't give focus to fears, and we can't give energy to those things when we know we are in our purpose, because it's always going to be there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like allowing yourself to live and then to sometimes just breathe and live in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, living in the moment is huge, and you know, it's a constant battle, you know, that I have with myself as far as being able to just take a deep breath and just step outside of, you know what I'm saying, everything that I'm doing, and just, like you said, breathe, and you know, in the moments that I do that, I tell myself, you know, this is where I should be, you know what I'm saying, I should do this more often, but you know, I'd be lying if I told you I did it as much as I should, and you know, it's just something that I have to get better at, you know what I'm saying, just stepping outside of everything that's going on and just enjoying it. And you know, I'm always grateful and thankful, but just really just like just thanking God for everything, man. You know, I thank him every day, but just I'm so in it. You know what I'm saying? That I really wish I was able to step outside of it a lot more and just see it for what it is. 'Cause I would, you know, I probably would be way more creative than I am now if I was able to just.
See, you're already thinking about the business. You're already thinking about the business right there and not thinking about. You see how you just tied all that and it was free and then you brought it right back to the business?
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
as an owner. I understand. But we have to.
We ain't even got on your stuff yet.
We have to focus. We haven't. We have to focus on. I mean, 'cause I feel like some of this stuff people just need to hear.
Yeah.
We don't know what part of the messages are for that person.
Right.
And I want to continue to always, you know, speaking to you. But we don't know. I think I lost train of thought about. We don't know what. I think I did.
We was talking about how I just tied everything back.
Oh,
to the
tied
business.
everything up. Yeah, so to not tie it, and then my wife had to teach me that, brother. Let me tell you something. We live such a lifestyle where it was sleep, work, sleep. More so of a nap than work. And I mean, that's in days.
Yeah.
She had to reprogram me. I give her all the credit. To reprogram me to how to live a life. To literally how to live a life. Not that I wasn't appreciative, not that I was being lazy. I was so focused on one thing that I couldn't even enjoy the fruits of my labor. Because I'm like, okay, we just did 20,000. Let's do. That's not what I wanted. I said I wanted to do 25 tomorrow. You know, let's do 25 tomorrow.
Right.
So it's like, hold a minute. She said, wait a minute. Do you not understand that we have set goals, crushed our goals? We're going to celebrate in the form of living in the moment.
Right.
It wasn't we went to Europe for a month. It was a celebration that she had me to understand that the small accomplishments mean just as much or more than the big accomplishments, because you have to have those small ones to get to the big ones.
Right.
And if you're always focusing only on the big one and not really
Because it's always going to be a bigger accomplishment.
right,
And you're never going to be able to celebrate because you're going to always be thinking about the next big accomplishment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or the celebration going to be short-lived because it's like in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, but we could have did this, you know?
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And that goes back to my point of bringing the goals down. You know what I'm saying? Or capping the goals off and saying, look, we'll be fine. Because, I mean, I broke it down to them. You know, we had this $3 million month in May, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got this thing where if we did it once, we can continue to do it. So the goal has been $3 million every month after, right?
Right, right.
And guess how many times we did that?
I know.
One.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? We've come inches within it.
Right.
You know, couple thousand, 10,000, 8,000,
Right.
you know, from it.
Right.
But we've never gotten it. It's always this feeling of defeat. And
see,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you don't even celebrate.
You don't
doing
even
them
celebrate.
I still did this amount of much. I
Right.
crushed this. I came up with these concepts.
Exactly.
To my other, I hired 75 more people.
Exactly. How many families
I
you
had
helped?
3 more buildings,
Right.
but I didn't hit that. I didn't hit that extra goal.
That's crazy. And you know, it took me a while to realize that, you know, because it's like, I'm like, man, we always straining. I'm like, if we straining to reach these goals, these shouldn't be our goals. I'm like, every goal that we need to hit should come with ease. It should, like, we too big of a company, and I don't live my life where I have to, you know, have a certain amount of money to live. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not like I need the money like tonight to pay this bill or do
Right.
this or do that.
Right.
It's like it's nothing but pride
Mm-hmm.
and ego. Oh, we did that, and it's like who are we trying to beat? Nobody but ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's nobody that's we looking at that's like, oh man, they up there. We only see ourselves in this. You see, in this marathon.
Exactly. So it's like, it's not like. But the thing is, it can feel. Now, tell me if this is wrong or right. If you don't hit that goal, you feel like, well, I didn't do enough.
Yeah. You
Right.
start thinking about the wrong.
The
stuff.
next person's catching up to me.
I won't say
Even
all
when
that. But
I'm just saying
Yeah.
because I didn't hit. So,
right.
well, where did the money go? Because you didn't hit the 3, it went somewhere.
Right.
So it's just like you may not think about it right now.
Right.
You
We retrace May. May is our North Star.
right.
It's like, what do we do in May? We have to duplicate that every month. And it's
Right.
like, that's impossible. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how much stuff happened in May? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and even in May, a lot of the money, revenue that we generated was donated. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, got you. Yeah, yeah.
Because of
For
the George Floyd situation. And I'm like, not like all of that stuff had to, you know what I'm saying, register into my mind. And I'm like, let's be more realistic. And you know, this past 12 months we did 20 million, right? And 2 million a month for us, we doing that with ease, right?
Okay.
It's like in our sleep we can do that, you know.
right.
And so and I had to take a step back and look at the numbers. I'm like, if we could do $2 million a month in our sleep, and we did 20 million this past 12 months, if we just do 2 million for the next 12 months, which is easy, that's an extra $4 million we made this year, opposed to last year with us falling $1 million below the goal every month.
Right.
So it was just me taking a step back to understand that I'm in control of this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not like I set the goals, and you know I like if okay, cool, we finna bring it down,
Right.
because it's like when you lifting weights. Boom, if I'm lifting, if I got 2 plates, you know, I'm pushing 90 pounds or whatever, or 135, and it's I'm you know, I can get a lot of reps. It's like, all right, put another couple more plates on there. If I can't do that easily with repetitions, I don't need to put more plates on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to
Right.
get it to the point where, oh, okay, cool, I can do that. If I'm doing this to barely get it up,
Struggling.
and once I get it up, I'm like, all right, add some more. What?
Right. 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 Right.
So like I
And
just had to.
and that's why I said it's like it feels like, oh, the next person who's behind us
It's
is catching up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the fact that you're not being creative. It's not the fact that you're not hustling. It's the fact that if I didn't hit this goal, that means that somebody else is getting closer.
Right.
It could, but and that's
It's-
and that could, as a mind
Yeah.
trick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so much money out here.
Or for me, it's not necessarily somebody else is getting closer. It's we doing this instead of this. You see what I'm saying?
Bell
That's
curve.
me.
Got
yeah,
you.
it's like
You're
we
on
on
the bell curve.
Because you know I'm so used to every month. You know I got spoiled. Every month was always better than the last month. So it's not necessarily somebody else. It's us. It's man, you know, this is our first time we ever went down, and we still doing, you know.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not like somebody else behind us. It's, damn, we did 3. Why we can't do 4?
Right.
We did 4. Why we can't do 5?
Right.
Instead of, yo, we just had a great month that month. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with it's like it's nothing bad about, you know, us not being like that's just the extra cherry on top.
Right.
For me. We can't expect to keep, you know, and eventually, yeah. But right now, like we've exhausted all of our possibilities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We did everything in our power we could. We should celebrate. It ain't or not, you know, celebrate or just appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, okay, great job.
Right. To
Not-
celebrate is to appreciate.
Exactly.
My question here now, okay, to kind of move the segment to this. What are 3 things that you are thankful for this year?
3 things that I'm thankful for this year is my health. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost. Because, man, you know, it's a lot of people that didn't make it through this year, you know, and that's something that I always keep that in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I feel like I'm having a bad day or things ain't going my way, I'm always grateful to simply see, to simply be able to walk.
Right.
Like the small stuff that we take for granted every day, you know, I'm big on understanding that that's the biggest thing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so my health, and you know, I would tie that into, you know, my family's health, because you know I haven't had any, you know, family members to, you know, get overly sick. You know what I'm saying? In the midst
It's a
of all of
blessing.
this stuff
Yeah.
going on, man, and it's, you know, it really is a blessing, because when it first started, it was so far away, and as the months began, it just became closer and closer. Friends, you know, family members, friends that they know, it's like, man, okay, so, you know, who's next? And here we are, the last day of the year, and you know, so far through 2020, nobody, you know, super close to me has been affected. That's, you know, that's one thing. The second thing is just, I don't know, like I love my son so much, man, to the point where it's like just seeing the ability to spend more time with him. You know, I was blessed to be able to get a location in Chicago where I can go and, you know, spend a lot more time with him than I was before, comfortably, you know, because I would go before and it was always short-lived. So now when I go to Chicago, it's just like we in Atlanta. I got a place out there, you know, and we just kicking it. And, you know, I bring him out here. We have a great time. So just the time that I'm able to spend with my son, and the fact that we got a lot in common. You know what I'm saying? Realizing that, you know,
That head for sure. That
yeah,
head
yeah,
shape
first
is
and
the same.
foremost, right, exactly. And he, you know, like, you know, he's growing to like baseball as much as I do. So, you know, like, you know, for the first 2-3 years, he was cool. You know what I'm saying? I see him when I see him, you know, dap him up. All right, you know. But this 4th year, man, no, I'm just playing. He's like, what? No,
Like,
but this,
first 3 years.
right. No, but this, you know, he just turned 4, and it's just like wow, like, you know, like this is what I've really been waiting for. You know, I'm
Right.
able to pitch to him. I'm throwing balls fast. He hitting like it's just amazing. So
Right.
the time I'm able to spend with my son, I would say, is number 2, and number 3, I would say just the amount that I've grown. You know what I'm saying? As an individual.
Right. Oh, good.
Yeah.
See, those are actually really great things that you are thankful for, because it is letting me know that you are living in the moments.
Yeah.
And well, you know, one thing I do admire about you, and I see that what makes you happy, is to be around your family.
Yeah.
And not to only be around your family, but to capture your family,
Oh, you
to
say,
make them laugh. I say all that, yeah.
No, you did you tell me you seen something on somebody's story where we was partying at the house?
Yeah.
And I was filming everything. Yeah.
Filming.
Yeah.
Everybody eating from you still working it, but it's something that you enjoy.
Yeah, that's pleasure. That's fun. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, you know, and I don't do it to be selfish for me to only be able to
No,
view
you
it,
don't, yeah.
but that's another thing I got to get better with, like filming, documenting, and then distributing, because everybody need to see that.
So distributing. You
Dis-
film, so it's distributing. That's
Yeah, I film everything,
right.
and I go watch it when I feel the need to watch it.
Right.
but ain't nobody else seeing it or they forget and stuff like that. So it's, God forbid something happened to me. I want them to be able to enjoy those moments as
Right.
well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I know your younger history and the things that you went through when you were younger and just growing up. I feel like that really shows an importance of what family is to you. And yeah, you got to get that out there because you have it. But even just the stuff that I've seen, it's just like, it's just cool. And it's nothing but home videos of people laughing and just fellowshipping and really enjoying each other. And it's just, that is pure happiness because you don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't have to hesitate. You're just letting loose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
No.
you're really letting loose. And
Yeah.
the time you do spend with your son. I like my daughter. I love spending time with my daughter. I love to teach her new things, try new things. Like today, she took her first Mandarin class. She was hesitant. I don't know if I want to take that.
How old is
She's 6.
Wow.
6. You've been knowing her since she was 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
In the store.
So when I
throwing
met
rocks.
her, right.
Yeah.
So throwing them rocks, right? We had a whole conversation about that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I understand that. It's like, are we putting onus on our, anyway, but she liked it. This is a demo class. She's like, I don't know. Well, just try it, see if you like it. Boy, she was in there speaking with the lady, the Asian lady who was teaching the class. She was wanting to call everybody to start speaking Mandarin to them, and so she's excited about those things because it's kind of hard because it is a quarantine thing,
Right.
And as an only child, it's like refocusing those things. You know how it kind of can be as an only child because your sister's a little older than you.
You only child too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your sister's a little older than you.
Yeah.
So you know those like how important cousins are.
Yeah.
How important some friends are where you call them your brother or your sister,
Yeah.
How important that really is to you because it's something that you could have, didn't have or in a close range when you were younger.
Right.
But for us it's just amazing. Yeah, so I'm really happy those 3 things that you said really tied into you appreciating you and taking that breath.
Right.
And like even just to say to people out there, just living in the moment, man, it can be small goals like I got a new label printer instead of me using my old printer. You know what I'm saying? I have $50 more on my budgets on Facebook ads.
Right.
It's the small things.
I think everything. I think you should. I think 5 small goals should equal 1 goal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I don't. So if that was the case, every goal is a small goal. You know what I'm saying? It's not until you accomplish all 5 of them till you realize, that was a big thing. That's a big deal. I accomplished all 5 of these goals because sometimes that $100,000 year seems so out of reach until you break it down into $274 a day.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh, that's all and then you break that down into how many shirts that is, times 10 or times 15 or times 20, to where it's like, all I got to do is sell 25, 30 shirts a day. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this right quick. Now, how you just broke that down, do you think majority of entrepreneurs think like that?
No, and that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem with the whole world, even from a record label standpoint, to where people want to get signed for, you know what I'm saying, $1 million before they quit their job, not realizing that if you went the independent route, you can probably match what you make at your job if you stay consistent for 60 days. Just dropping music. You see what I'm saying? And if you can do what you love, like if you working at FedEx or something, you hate your job, and you love to do music, people don't even realize staying consistent for 60 days and figuring out a real business plan to drop music and sell merch, getting 30 people to support you a month, and you know, once those 30 people support you, keep them happy from a customer service standpoint, and doubling that to 60, and you know, like that's literally where it starts. And people don't understand that that's where the equity is. You sign a record deal, they own your music. They give you a check, but you don't own nothing.
Right, and they dictate you.
And they dictate everything, every move that you make. If you were to stay independent, not only, I'm not saying don't sign a record deal, but have some leverage when you go to the table to create a partnership opposed to a one-sided deal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Because you'll be in the 360.
Yeah, you be in the hole in the 360, and you know it's they'll own you. So if you able, that's just the mindset of business overall. You know what I'm saying? For me, where going the independent route, where you building brick by brick. Like I built God is Dope, brick. The Sherrod Can't Sing case study, brick by brick. It was the same concept, and it was a case study because I was taking the same marketing tactics that I used with God is Dope and applying it to music, and it obviously worked. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And people don't understand that for the life of me, that because they look at the big goal and it can seem overwhelming, it can seem out of reach until you break it down little by little. You know what I'm saying? For a while, everybody's North Star was $100,000 a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if I can just get 100, you know, and you know, they may be making 40. Like, why can't your North Star be 45, 50? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you want to double your salary in a week? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why can't you go a whole nother year working for yourself, building equity, you know, building a brand, and then adding another 20% onto that? In 5 years, you didn't doubled it.
Right.
If you add 20% on every single year, boom, there you go.
Right.
But you know, people don't have that mindset, and you know, like when I teach, you know, my courses or classes or whatever, you know, once I open my school or my whatever I'm gonna call it, I want to teach that before I start teaching. You gotta teach the mindset first.
The mindset. It's a mindset thing.
You gotta teach the mindset before you can teach anything about
Right.
ads and where to source the product and you know how to get the best pricing and inks and all that type of stuff. We have to you know change people's mindset of looking at the $100,000 number and look at the $275.
Right, and that's even within your circle, you have to do that. Like with our kids. So it's like I can give my daughter. I even learned. You know, I've learned this with her right now. I can give her $5, right?
Yeah.
But I say, hey, do a hat and make $2 a hat. So do you think when she gets that money that she spends that money the same? No, she wants to hold on to that money because she understands what it took to make that money and how to make that money.
Exactly.
And not just me giving it to her because she just think, oh, he just give it to me. I can just get another 5 from him
Exactly.
in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
But she learned the basics. Like she'll get allowance or money, and she's 6. We go in the store. She has $30, right? Belle, use your calculator. Minus what you can get, put it in a cart. Put whatever you want in the cart.
Right.
But when it's time, you got to calculate. You're only spending $30.
Right.
So it has her mind processing what can I do and what can I not do, and how can I? Oh, if I can get 3 more toys for $3 instead of getting a $9 toy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
really, it's the basics. It's just those basics, and I'm teaching her. What we're teaching her, my wife, are teaching her that super early, and just in the business standpoint.
That's
of
business.
it.
That's business. It like, you know, that's the, you know, the simplest form.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they can, you know, that they can understand. They're not gonna understand fractions and, you know, like percentages and stuff right now, but that's the best you can do. You know, like you know, math is, if you good with numbers, man, you can do a lot of stuff.
Right. Right.
You can do a lot of stuff. That's something that, you know, I didn't really take advantage. Thank God, you know, I understand math, but I didn't really know how, you know, what good math would, you know, do for me, you know, coming up. But it's helped me out. a lot.
Tremendously.
Yeah, because that's what you have to know. Like
Right.
you have to know numbers to even be able to break that down. You know, because a lot of people they don't. To me, and like you told me a long time ago, man, you just think different. You know, and I be thinking that it's so common.
Mm-mm.
You know, like the way I think, I be thinking that like that ain't common sense to everybody, and
It's not.
It's really not. You know, and but if I can just take, you know, like, you know, I think about a lot of stuff different, but it's like key elements, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
of my thinking that shaped me to be the person I am today. If I can take the key elements, that's all I need to take is just the key ingredients. You know, I got other stuff that you can learn eventually, but let's forget all of that.
You showing them the basics, how they can, even if that first thing that they're doing doesn't work, but they know the formula,
Right,
the starting formula.
right. Yeah.
So like I always think of stuff as harvesting and planting seeds and
Yeah.
getting the soil ready, tilling the soil. I think about everything like that because I can plant the seed and grow the fruit. Don't mean that fruit's gonna grow again. How can I take that next seed and grow more?
And that's the free shirt concept that you know what I'm saying, that we, you know, came up with, where, or not even the free, like selling it at cost. Because if you can't, you know, like sell it at cost, if you got a good product, they're gonna come back.
Right. I
and
remember
pay.
we talked about that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, that's the same thing as planting seeds, and it's something that people just don't want to do. And it's just like, I get people that start brands, and I put all this information in podcasts.
Right.
I put all this information online and captions, however I can get it out, I try to get it out. But they come up to me and they ask me, man, what's the secret? Like, it's just something that I ain't already, you know, like like everything that I'm telling you, as soon as I learn something new, I'm too eager to I'm eager to share it, you know, because I like what's the use of being the person with all this money and recognition and this and that if you ain't giving it back to the culture? You see what I'm saying? Like that's the, like, I want to be the first person to give it back.
Do you see that's you working through your purpose though?
Maybe
you could take all this money that you make from here, pay your employees, and save it all for yourself and your son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. I sit back and I see things that you do and start, and it's like you're starting to walk in these snow steps. Your steps, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing what I've been seeing. You actually falling into doing it,
Right.
and it's coming up so much onto a bigger level. It's like I'm so proud of you and your mistakes and how you know. Like I said, like I said, it's like L's should just be lessons. There's no losses. It should be lessons.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's things that you put out you wish you never put out. It's people you hire you wish you never hired.
To this, I mean, about the stuff we put out, yeah, to this day. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you keep learning and keep processing through it. You know, and even speaking of brands.
Okay.
You know, I got a gift for you.
Oh man, here we go. They just keep coming. See, now I look bad. Nah, okay.
You got to open it.
All right, see, I was wondering when we was gonna segue, because I'm like, we show talking about me a lot. We gotta.
Yeah, no, but a lot of people, you know, and you invite me to come in here. It's like, oh, we could talk about my brand, and I would love to, you know, like we are. But it's like, it's things that people need to know. They need to know that you are human. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm speaking to you, it's like I'm speaking through my spirit to you, you know?
Right.
It's not, that's how our relationship is, and people, you know, may not or never see that. It's like, if you have those close people in you,
Right.
see that. Now, you see I hand paint that. All my boxes that go out are hand painted.
What?
Every single one of them. Custom tape.
I see this tape. You're gonna have to give me this plug on the tape.
I'll definitely get it to you. No problem. But it's definitely showing. Oh, man, I can't even talk about it. Well, my baby just designed some. My wife just designed some tape.
What?
She speaks through the spirit too. You know, in another
trust
way.
me. Yeah.
I know you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
every
the
time-
you see the packaging, and you know, I want you to enjoy
Jeffrey
this
Lee.
opening.
This how you doing it? Come on. Come on. There's never too fly to pray pen. 2 of them.
Right.
What's
And this is an elephant.
the elephant?
And the reason why I chose that elephant for you is because of your wisdom and how wise you are. And I look at you as, you know, somebody you may think you, like we talk about, oh, I forgot. You didn't forget. You knew how to maneuver through it. So your next things that you're flowing through it, you're learning from your lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like an elephant. You're wise way beyond your years. You don't think how people your age, you know, think at all. And you know, so that's why I picked the elephant for you. I personally did this for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
G.
So open it up. Look at it, brother.
Let me get it situated.
Yeah.
Never too fly to pray.
I definitely
tag.
got to get Junior some
Come on.
stuff, man.
Oh man. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's the Jeffrey Lee special. It's never too fly to pray special. You got the come on. Is this the same one Jermaine Dupri had on Rap Game?
No. This is a special one,
This a
brother.
special one,
Yeah,
G?
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna wear this like a vato.
Yeah, one up.
Yeah.
There you go.
With I appreciate this. What size?
Well, that's a large, your
All right,
size.
That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
So
So, you know,
I've been big on the flannels lately too.
I seen.
This ain't no thing, John, either.
Oh,
It's
no.
They got a little weight to it.
It does. Trust me, I know through any shippings, it got some weight to it. So, I mean,
All right,
like,
so let's go ahead.
I say all our packages, you know, I hand paint them, boxes, envelopes. We hand paint them, so none of them are alike. So I'm really putting artistry in through everything. We take care.
Tape.
We really take care of our customers, and we really this is just not a brand, you know. This is me working my purpose through this brand, and and allowing people know the power of prayer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how simple that it is to be able to have that, because everybody has it. If you can't hear, you can pray. If you can't talk, you still can pray.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you can't see, you still can pray. So it's like, or what, you know, in situations, it's the power of prayer is the key behind this brand. It's not about, oh, I want to see 500 million people win it, which I would love, but it's more so I'd rather see 1 million people in it and are moved by the power of prayer.
Right.
Or starting that, or leaning of that towards the next person. Every package I ship, every single one. If I'm taking 500 bags, or if it's the last minute one, because we try to ship out everything the same day, brother.
Yeah. I
Like, you know,
remember that point in my life.
I try to get everything out.
Yeah.
You know, if we can, I'm trying. You know, and I appreciate.
That's a big deal.
I appreciate our customers. I appreciate my team, which is, you know, really important to me. I appreciate my wife for having my back and just really, you know, doing what she does with me and believing in me and continuing to for us to grow. And but
Can she make a quick appearance?
yeah, of course.
What? Can we
Come on. You ain't said none but a word. Come on through. This is
Yeah, wait till y'all see this. Wait till y'all see this swag.
wait, this is introducing
Yeah, you can bring this up. Come on.
Mrs. Sawyer. Come on through here. You gotta get a little closer.
Y'all are so, I have to say, since I'm out here,
You gotta
y'all
speak
are
into the
so
mic.
dope.
You gotta speak into the mic.
Where's the mic?
Right there.
Y'all are so dope. Like, I'm over here, like, I've had tears in my eyes. Like, I really, like, I'm so emotional. You guys are amazing. Like, Sherrod, you are such a beautiful soul. I seriously, I'm trying not to. It's just so beautiful to feel your spirit. Like, you're so sincere. And babe, you know, I'm like, clearly I'm in love with you. I love you, and you're amazing too. Just like, he loves you. Like, Jeffrey literally, like, all he thinks about is like, and he thinks of you as like looking out, making sure he checks in, like he's concerned if he doesn't talk to you because he just wants to make sure you're good. Like, it's such a sincere love he has for you. And just like, this has just been a beautiful, like, I don't know if you guys really, because it's so organic between you, But it has just been beautiful, and you're so in, like you, I know I just came over you did not, let me shut up, because I'm just like, I'm so moved. This has just been so amazing.
Wow.
It really has been, and you're like, Shadi, this whole thing you're talking about with what you're gonna do, when you started saying that you were gonna teach, you stepped onto that spot. You're like, oh, you stepped right onto that spot when you started talking about that.
Wow.
That whole vibe, that lane, that thing of like empowering. And the thing is about what you are, is it's gonna move through you in such a way where it's like, the thing is that we're always on our path. That's the thing we're not taught. We're always on our path. It's like, oh, well, eventually I'll get to doing this or that. It's like we're being guided. It's
Right.
unfolding, as you talked about the buckets, like one bucket at a time, or the 5 goals within one goal. Like
Right.
you're on it, you just don't always see it. And you, as you're gonna roll it out for the people, entrepreneurs that are coming up, and you're sowing into their life, you already have been. The way you're gonna do it, through your teaching and through whatever institution or whatever else you establish, like
Right.
it's continuing, your purpose continuing to come forward. That's how I would say it, because you deserve to be able to understand that you've been on your path the whole time.
Right.
Your purpose continuing to come forward and pronounce itself, and perhaps have many culminating moments, many,
Right.
but you just depositing into people what you've learned. And like you highlighted, these things that you've learned, like you can give people those things, these like, hey, I can give you this, I can give you this, and people are going to be clamoring. I know you, like, in theory, understand that, clamoring to just have a spot, I feel to say, like, a spot for, like, to get in, because it's going to be like people, like, as if they're signing up for. I'm sorry,
Right.
babe. Talk to me, baby.
No,
Tell me
no,
what I
right.
got to do. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, like a spot, to be able to have a spot to be underneath you and to learn from you. Literally, it's you giving everything that you have learned through this journey and pouring it back in.
Wow.
So it's like your journey itself was the blueprint for everything you're setting up. And it's just so dope. It, like the way it's gonna be, like, I'm just so done. And you're so dope. Like, I just can't take it. Like, okay, so now I'm gonna shut up. I'm
No,
done.
everything that you've said, everything that you spoke on to my life has literally, come into fruition, and it's I just love to hear you. I love to have you around. I love talking to you. Not for my own selfish reasons, but just your energy. It's contagious. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And it goes all the way back, to the store.
Yeah, that's right.
New God flow.
The new
Yeah.
God flow, way back.
Yeah, man.
Which
And it
is
was,
dope.
it was just,
Yeah.
it was contagious, and that was something that everybody looked forward to. Those events, and after, man, we gonna talk about it, man. But like, now that I got this, all this space, man, like. And it's something that the people want,
Yeah,
it's something that the people need,
yeah.
and it was, you just demanded it. You know what I'm saying? Like you came in there, it was just like a certain aura, a certain swag, and it was just like, let me just sit back and just be a fan, and just sit back and just watch Elle do her thing, man. And it was dope, man. And now, this is when we was, a small fraction of what we are now.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine.
Yes.
And even
Yes.
it was, I don't want to speak, about you, but
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you learned so much more,
Yeah. Oh my
about
God,
yourself,
so
about
much.
God, about, the
Yes.
world, since then, to where you can just empower and educate,
Yes.
on a whole nother level,
yeah.
you and Jeffrey Lee both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that, that's, I don't know if that's something that y'all into, but like, y'all if y'all did a weekly podcast, oh my God. What? Let me produce it. Let me
I
produce
appreciate you speaking life into us.
We got something coming.
All right,
Let-
cool.
let-
All
let me
right.
You know.
Let me be the Barry Gordon to that.
Oh man. Long as you're not red.
No, I ain't gonna be
Oh,
big
say
red.
that.
Records.
We
Jermaine has
open.
been
We'll
a
hold a
long
beat. We'll have.
time.
We'll chat. We'll chat.
chat.
We'll
Okay.
chat. Because
Okay.
destiny has a way of unfolding. That's
Right.
the beauty of destiny.
Right.
It just unfolds. You can't run from it. It just feels like the next obvious move. If I
Right.
put anything forward just now for to the whole vibe that your whole tribe that you got popping, which is, man, it's a whole tribe you got in the community that you have built, which is so beautiful. It's that sometimes we're trying to figure out which way to go or what do I do next or whatever else. And it's like, we're not taught that the next move, and that's why I love the way both of you broke that down. The five goals within one, or the buckets, one bucket at a time. Just take one bucket at a time and do what you can with that. The next most obvious step is the way to go. It feels more complicated. Oh my gosh, what should I do? Because we make it, as you said, big. We make it really big. So it's like, oh my God, what do I do? It's this whole situation.
Right.
Break it down. What, from where I am right now, what is the next most obvious step to take? The most obvious means that's where the path is lighting up for you.
Right.
It is guidance. Take that step. Don't figure out step 4, 5, or 6. Figure out that next obvious step. And when you take it, the next most obvious step will reveal itself. And you go from there. And you continue forward. And you find yourself buying factories and whatnot and doing things like that and being the culture and being a whole vibe for the people while you at it. Okay.
I appreciate that. And look, I didn't even realize what this shirt was.
Oh, me and her, yeah.
Bro, that is what? So I don't want to get off subject, but like, give me 30 seconds of like, what is that? Like, how did that come about?
Oh, you want me to say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, my husband loves The Simpsons. And so I love coming up with Christmas gifts and gifts for him, whatever the gift. I love gifting him. So I was like, So I basically had someone create this rendering of he and I with the J&B-esque vibe, but with The Simpsons inspiration.
Wow.
And that was dope. I gifted him with that. Then he gifted me with the sweatshirt with it on it. So, because he's dope. And I was like wanting that and didn't even tell him. And then he sensed that and got this for me. So anyway, that's
Wow.
that's 30 seconds.
Crazy, right?
That's crazy. That's on a whole nother level.
That's what we on.
Yo, man. Match made in heaven.
Matchmake for real, yo. It's crazy.
So, Never Too Fly to Pray is a brand that started in
2016.
2016.
Right.
And because before it was just like it was a division of hot dog water.
Hot dog water, right. Mm-hmm.
Give me 30 seconds of what hot water is. Hot dog water is.
So hot dog
Well,
water.
If you need to go longer, go ahead, because I know it's. I don't want to cut you short. Give me what hot.
30
hot dog,
seconds. Okay, hot dog water.
'cause I want to talk about
Okay, so hot dog water was my first brand that came out in 2006 in
At
college.
A&T?
At A&T.
Uh-huh.
My first.
Let's
But
flash to a picture of the high top fade with the Kanye West glasses with the braids. Matter of fact. All right, now y'all see that.
so
all right, cool.
so that started that then, but the word, the name is something I used to always say. I'll be out and walk past somebody and say, "You smell good. You smell like hot dog water." Or, people didn't know I didn't drink, and I just be having fun, and they thinking I'm drunk. They be like, "What you drinking?" I'm like, "Hot dog water." So I just always used to say it.
Right.
So I had a fashion show in my department. Fashion, that's what I went to school for, fashion design and merchandising. And we had a fashion show, and they were like, "Well, what are you going to name your brand?" And I said, "Hot dog water." They said, "Ain't nobody going to wear that." I was like, oh, okay. And that brand was, when I was really into it, became super successful. I had it in major department stores. I've had it, on major people all around the world.
Yeah.
And God has really blessed me into now I'm into this more so purposeful brand that, Never Too Fly to Pray.
Right. Okay. So Never Too Fly to Pray. What is you touched a little bit on it, you know what I'm saying, as far as what it meant to you, as far as you rather, instead of 500 million people, you rather have 1 million people that's moved through the power of prayer.
Right.
How has it How has it helped you? You know,
How has it helped me grow or help me as an individual? I answer both.
yeah. I mean, not from a monetary standpoint, but just like being able, you know, because like being able to see that every day. You know what I'm saying? How is it? I mean, obviously you knew the power of prayer before you created
Right.
the brand, but just like being able to obviously ship these orders out and being involved on a day-to-day process with Never Too Fly to Pray, like, yeah, just basically as an individual, how is it?
Right. So I feel like it's so first when we do the orders, or you know, before the orders go out, they have to come pick them up. Or if I'm taking last minute ones, doesn't matter. Any order, you know, I pray over all my orders.
Wow.
Every single one of my orders, I pray over them. Just for, you know, I'll have a short prayer. Or sometimes I'll just lose it and be in a long prayer. We tried to do a video one time of a clip and it became an Instagram story.
Oh, okay.
So it's that's first and foremost I do that because I believe before you even receive it, I want you to understand. I want you to feel it.
Right.
I want it to be the understanding of having that relationship with God, and it's not just, you know, like pray, it's praise.
Right.
So we
Right.
pray to God all the time, but how often, which is
Yeah.
a question for everybody, how often are we giving God praise? So that's the key thing is the fly takes away when you're not fly, that you can humble yourself to give God praise. Because it cannot be easy to, first of all, pray when you don't feel like you really know how to, or when you feel like your faith is not strong, or the fact that you don't have a actual scene of like you're, you know, face to face
Right.
with God.
Right.
So it's when you're giving God praise, it's on a different level, you know?
Yeah.
Because we pray to God, you know, waking us up.
Mm-hmm.
I pray to God for, you know, having stuff over our head. But how are we just giving God praise for being God, being the Almighty,
Right.
you know, being our source,
Right.
even when it's not easy? Because it's not always easy. You
Right.
know, we all go through things, especially this year that showed, you know?
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of people to COVID.
Really?
Yeah. I just lost like my childhood pastor 2 days ago to
Wow.
COVID. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Bro.
Yeah, man. So it's really been, you know, I have a lot of family members right now that have it, you know, and then didn't do anything, but you know, not being careful, but still got it. And obviously, if you don't know you have the symptoms, or you're not feeling sick, and you can spread it to your whole house, you know.
Oh wow.
So it's in these times, you know, this has been a rough year in a lot of different ways, just even for that, and then we've actually lost 2 children through miscarriages in a short period of time, in August
sorry to
and
hear
in
that, man.
December, you know, back to back. So, and it's just been, you know, and different things, but I've also still continue to pray to God and give God praise because I am healthy. I'm still here. I may not have everything I want. I have everything I need. My family's here. We have time together. But all in all, I give God praise because of who He is. And, you know, gets given God praise of what He has shown me and brought me through in my life. Because we can all think about what we don't have right now or what our goal is, but what about when you were 5? What about when you were 10? Or what about as you become a parent and then you understand what your parent went through?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just giving God praise for giving me that parent, you know, just allowing me to understand, to have the same, you know, it's just praise, period.
Yeah.
So that's the more the aspect of the brand than just putting something on a T-shirt. Because I know, like you see a lot of bootlegging, right?
Yeah.
Especially during this time, because everybody at home trying to make a way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's more. I'm so focused and driven on living and giving and allowing people to see what this purpose is. And I want people to honestly to receive whatever they order, if it's a pen or if it's a socks or if it's a hat, hoodie, flannel shirt, or whatever it is. If you order one thing or you order 400 things, I want you to really receive. Even in my prayer, I just ask God, even if the person doesn't understand that, set them free, allow them to have a freer mind to come closer to you, to pray to you. Let that open up conversations, because it's always up. Like our brands open up conversations with people. Period.
Yeah.
If they like it or if they don't like it, or if they don't even understand a word or something in it.
Right.
So it opens up, and I want that to be a space where God is able to come in during those conversations, during those hard times, or during those moments where we may not realize. It's not. And I mean, not saying it for me personally only, but for anybody who, I even ask God, even anybody who sees the brand, see the truck riding down, in Atlanta, like a rap truck, or if you see somebody in a Walmart and you just realize and understand that praise and prayer is the most powerful thing that we can have. And how much does it cost? Nothing.
Right.
So that's my whole focus is for the brand. And I love that it is, because I've been making clothes and designing since I was 5. So being able to dye and paint, and like I'm really hands-on with everything. Like if it's from cutting or
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, did you move away from the mask? 'Cause a lot of stuff I see, it looks one of one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot when I'm on your page, it looks like hours were spent, and you know what I'm saying? Like crafting this specific garment, the details in it. You know what I'm saying? Even when you was doing your distress joints, all of it looked like it took time. You know what I'm saying? And for your price points to be that, and the amount of time versus the amount of time you put into it, it's like we got great deals, but I don't think it's a better deal, out there. You know what I'm saying? For like the amount of time that you obviously put into your product.
Right.
And was the original hoodie color this, or
No,
did you even do something to these strings?
Yeah, it was this color.
Oh, okay.
The original color was Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just something I just have, but I do change out. I can reconstruct things, and I reconstruct things. But like I said, it's really the power behind the message. So I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, and then for people that to understand, like, hand me that box, babe. For me to, for us to have tape. Anybody can have tape, but obviously we have custom tape. But just to have this box that we lay them all down, and I'm spending time in the cold. I'm spending, just to really, because that's what I love.
Right.
This is what I love to do, and it's fun, but it's a desire, and then I feel good about it because I know what I'm working in my purpose.
Yeah.
And it comes with ease. Once you start working in the purpose, it comes with ease. And I realize that. But I'm not working harder, I'm working smarter.
Right.
And that goes to her and to showing me and also helping me,
Yeah.
and to even think differently.
Right.
And the brand just really been growing in so many different ways. It's just unbelievable. And I just really thank God, for that.
You know, one of the most genius things you did,
What?
Instagram stories. They type in God is dope for the gift. Hey, there be so many God is dope stories. I'll be like, they got a God is dope shirt on, but they got never too fly to pray blinking on top of it.
What they say?
That is hilarious.
We shall see.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. Oh
I
my
said, okay,
God,
checkmate.
that is so funny.
Oh,
my
but hey, man, that's strategy, man. I love it, man. And you know, my boy Jeffrey Lee, never too fly to pray, hot dog water, Jeffrey Lee feathers, whatever you want to call him. Hey, man, it's my main man, man. We've been rocking for a long time. Another question I want to ask: what was like, you know, 'cause, you know, as brands, we have certain days or certain moments where we like, wow, you know, like I'm really doing this, or I'm really, it's you know, it's like a moment where everything clicked, where it's just like, even with me, when I looked up and I was like, man, I've been doing this for 8 months nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you have a moment like that where you just had to sit back and be like, ain't no turning back? Like, what was that moment? Like the moment where it was just like, all right, I'm in it.
I feel like I know you laugh about it, you tease me about it, or we joke about it. It's like I've set up ways, or I never go and work somewhere else or without a purpose, you know,
Yeah.
or a plan to it.
Right.
Like working for like a hat store.
Yeah.
It was definitely to design something for them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
doing their best and biggest campaign ever
Wow.
for their hat store, you know. Or working at the colleges, I was closer to the students
Right.
to get in the ear of the students, to
Right.
understand and to know what they want.
Right.
But when they closed, when I didn't work at the hat store starting in March, I feel like it really,
I think we had a conversation around that time, or a little bit after that time. You was like, I just been, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
just
yeah,
been
we
all
did.
Yeah.
it's just been the businesses. It's the feathers and the Jeffrey Lee feathers. I put that down there. Are never too fly to pray. It's really been the business, and God has really shown me that if you just put a mustard seed of faith in this, I will give you plenty.
Because you know what's really amazing about it is, you know, nowadays, at least for me, 95% of my revenue comes from ads and marketing and things like that. And it was a stretch. I don't know if it was during that stretch. I think recently you told me that they just allowed you to start back, but it was a stretch where you couldn't even link your website to your Instagram.
Right.
And for you to just going through that alone, I don't know if I would have been able to make it.
That was for like what, 3 years? They did that to me.
And it recently just stopped when? What month?
April
April.
This year.
This year,
April
right.
this year.
So for you to, you know, for you not to, like, that's the primary source of my traffic.
Right. You couldn't
even run ads, could you?
I couldn't run. No, not connected to nothing.
Right.
Back to my page.
Right.
I couldn't DM you my website. I couldn't put it in my bio.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's, you know, for you to find a way, you know what I'm saying, through all like people, I mean, I'm gonna say through all that, which is just one thing, but it's a very, very essential thing. You know what I'm saying, to the success of a brand is social media. Like if I like I said, 95% of my revenue is generated through social media, ads,
Right.
all that.
Right. And you know what's even crazier? A huge part of my revenue was doing the pop-ups.
Right.
Was doing the pop-ups at the school. I was going Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every week
Yeah.
doing pop-ups at the school, and that just completely, hey, we see y'all back when you come back from spring break, and ain't seen nobody, haven't been back since March.
Wow.
So we haven't been back. And that was like you saying, I was probably at that time, that was a good 85%, wouldn't you say? At that time.
Wow.
That was 85% of my business from having it to not having it.
So you know what that means. Once this open back up, for you to learn what you learned online,
Right.
and then once the schools and like, bro, that's, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be a dual threat.
Right.
Where like and everything happened for a reason, but obviously you know if 85% of your revenue came from in person, and you had to figure out, you had to make the adjustment to online. Like now you about to be even more of a beast because you've honed your skills for online, and you are like not taking away nothing from Never Too Fly to Pray, but your personality is what sells way far beyond, like, it's your energy and your, what I'm saying, your presence and just, just your personality that sells. Like, nobody could sell Never Too Fly to Pray like you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I seen, that's one thing I seen from, like, cause I'm like, I'm thinking like, man, God is dope. We the new kids on the block, and I'm like, we gonna get all this traffic at Market Friday. And I'm talking about, you ain't miss a beat when we stepped in.
No.
I'm talking about, it would be people, I guess, from just your relationship with them over the months or the weeks that you were there before me, and it was just like, I'm like, I would be looking like, oh, okay, he ain't, he doing his thing. He ain't worried about me, because it was just you would have lines and people would just love you and trying on hats and just how you would be over there just, what I'm saying, swagging, showing them in the mirror. You want that? You gonna love it, like you just got that showmanship, that salesman, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it makes sense why 85% of your, what I'm saying, revenue came from in person, opposed to online. But I just, I know you can't wait to, to get back out there, because
man,
it's like performing to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? When we out there and because it's a skill. I used to get hyped before Market Friday. Like, all right, some of the lingo, you know what I'm saying, I might have learned earlier in the week, or sales tactics, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And just to go out there and perform it, it was just, I don't sing, I don't play baseball, football, so it's just, that was my arena to just showcase, like, all right, I'm finna go out here, how you wear it, the hat, the match, you know what I'm saying, like all of that stuff. That's your, like that's your wardrobe, like as an artist or whatever, and that's just how I would view it, and it would just be so fun going out there, trying to beat the high score.
I totally agree, but you know what? Now that you just say that, I was so ahead of myself in the fact of I was so focused on goal. I didn't even think about that. I was so focused on hitting goals. I wasn't living in the moment so much a lot of the times, and really understanding that it is a performance.
Yeah.
You have to really perform to sell.
Yeah. I really enjoy your showmanship and your style. Let's make a deal right now.
Let's make a deal right now.
Because my observation of you as a businessman during this year and this transition is that you were being handled from the God perspective like an eagle in a nest that was forced to fly. I feel that what really happened isn't about where he's going to go back after Chips, although there may be some of that engagement, like you said, just he's a natural show. He just is. That is who he is. So he's going to do that.
Right.
But it was almost like it propelled you. Do you know? I have something on the teeth, boo. I'm not ashamed. I don't know. But it propelled you. That's what I just would offer that, because I just felt like that's what happened with that transition. And so it's like no going back, in a way, like in its own way.
Right. Right.
And it shifted it. Like that percentage is not that,
Right.
like at all.
Right.
And not just because we can't go out, like because there's life that was there that you couldn't see.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. But I was just really recognizing that part, what you were saying. I was like, wow, I wasn't really living in the moment. But you like, you probably can't wait. I'm like, I got a team, you know?
Right.
I got a team.
Right.
I can show you a thing or two, you know?
Right,
Let me
right.
show you something.
Right. Right.
Hold my cane. Let me
Yeah,
show
yeah.
you something.
Yeah. Yeah. Always that heartbeat reference. To
You know,
bro.
it got to be. So it's like, I
But
still
you,
have.
but you ain't. But even with your team, because I know for sure with me, like I'll send my team out there, but it's in you. It's just an urge to like,
Right.
like maybe homecoming or something. You might go out
Oh,
there,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and
definitely, yeah,
strut. But like
definitely.
like not every, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But it's just that it's in you to be like, y'all think y'all did that. Wait till I get out there. I'm gonna show you what I can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also it's the fact of I still have people that, been customers and are
Right.
set thinking. Like I had somebody yesterday, hey, I need 10 flannels. They didn't want to buy them online. They wanted me to meet them. You think I did it?
I don't know, G.
What do you think? Just what do you think?
I think you did.
You know I did, G. Come on, G. You know I had to get them 10 flannels off ASAP, G. You know I had to get them 10 flannels off ASAP, G.
Come on, G. I know you, G.
10 flannels, G.
10.
Same day.
Come on, G.
Come on, G.
We
G.
need it,
You
G.
know I
And on
did
top
that.
of that, the promo you about to get for them 10. Come on, G.
And they were going all over. They were like, I
Wow.
need them now.
Wow.
Yes. It was.
See?
I mean, I like to, ride around with the rap. You don't even
Yeah.
drive your rap no more, do you?
Man, I didn't told me. I don't want to get on that rap, man.
Time for a new rap.
Yeah, it's time for a new rap. Man. I
Oh,
don't even
man.
want to get on that rap.
Well, you need somebody to design it,
Okay. Say no more.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like being married now. We kind of like flipped,
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yeah.
We flipped our lives in that aspect.
Yeah.
Like suddenly in a way,
Mm-hmm.
It's like having that partner now that, still strives and doing what they're doing. Like she's almost done with her doctorates, but she has like a little bit more to go, and she's, I had to start calling her doctor.
Congratulations, Doc.
So it's like her striving, and she has her, her endeavors of, Elle wears hats and doing what she's doing, and doing, marriage counseling, and she does a lot of different things, and still has time to empower me. That can't do nothing but make me better and make me, grow and to be a better mate,
Yeah.
Because it's like we have to.
Right.
But it's like we're doing it so close. We're pulling each other up. We're pulling each other up. It's not a gap,
Right.
It's like we're really pulling each other up.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Everybody has situations. Everybody goes through stuff. It's life. But we still have that foundation.
Right.
And I pray, when we do our morning prayers, one thing I ask God, I said, God, I want you to deeply root us and intertwine our roots.
Right.
'Cause I don't want you to say have deep roots in our foundation and we're not together.
Right.
I want those roots to intertwine like two oak trees,
Right. Right. Right.
So those can go a mile away or, and still be so intertwined.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it as, and somebody might get it mixed up where, oh, you got to be with me all the time, I got to be with you all the time. No, it's about our connection.
Right.
About our connection and to do what we have to do and to empower each other like we have to do. Like, it's times where I just feel like, okay, I need to tell her this. Or she needs to tell me this.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be easy, but it's something that you need.
Yeah.
And you can't do nothing but appreciate it because you know where they're coming from. You know why? Because we're so intertwined and rooted that we know where the energy is coming from. We can just feel it.
Yeah.
I could, if she was upset or feeling a certain way, I wouldn't have to, like, I could be looking at you, and I can feel it, you know,
Yeah.
because
Wow.
we're just rooted like that.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So yeah, man. So that, and then the brand, and we're just thanking God and continuing wanting us to grow, and definitely want you in your endeavors. I'm super proud of you, and
Thank you.
and I thank you for allowing me to be a part of the family, pages and stuff. So I get to see that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And really live through. I know a few of your cousins,
Yeah.
and some people they say that's your cousin.
Right. A lot of those. A lot of that.
So it feels really good, and I really want to just like I said, give you your flowers while I'm here. We are so tight, and we're just gonna continue to grow, man.
Thank you. Thank you,
give,
Jeff, for that.
and really prosper and give back, and I'm gonna always tell you the truth,
Yeah.
but no hesitation,
Facts.
because I have to. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel right, spiritually wise. I get my spirit to, sometimes I have to call you 4 or 5 times before you call me back. But I'll continue to do it because I know I have things I need to tell you, or the stuff I want to. I never want to hold anything back, What if it's something I have been told, like spiritually, like God has, have a message for me through, not just you, but for her, for my daughter, anybody, my promises to God is to deliver those messages or sow those seeds.
Right.
Because I feel like it's been times where I didn't deliver messages. And it's tragic stuff that has happened. And for years, I carried that. Tragic, fatal stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Because it was something I didn't understand. And maybe that was the plan, to know how seriously I knew that God was speaking to me and how real it was, is for me to go through those situations like that.
Right.
Instead of me, being, saying something to, something or doing something, it's to go through. That was the lesson, and I didn't carry it that way. And I know now that it was. Then I didn't know. But now I'm so connected with God and understand who I am spiritually and purposeful. Now I know my messages are to share.
Right.
So or my feelings are to share, And it's not no like psychic thing. It's about, because it's been things seriously I've told you, and you be like, how do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about even more stories, I'm like, it was about a few months ago. I remember we had a conversation, and I was like, it was really on my heart to tell you this about that family stuff. Do you remember?
What was it particular?
About your grandmother and your grandfather.
Yeah.
So it was just really for me to show you, So it's like I didn't have no idea, but I wanted to share.
Yeah. I remember that.
What I was, my feeling towards everything, and
Wow.
just living through the purpose, brother. That's what I feel.
Man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, coming out here doing this interview with me, man. It's very few people that know me like you know me, so this would be great for, true God is dope, you know what I'm saying? Supporters to watch and, get a little bit more insight on the type of person I am, the type of person you are, the type of person L is, we all, like you said, we all human, man, same thing, man. We feel the same about each other, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to mutual respect, you know what I'm saying? Anything in the world I could do for you, I'll do it, and I know it's the same, and I would like for you to end this off with a prayer.
Oh, yes.
If is that too much to ask?
No, sir. Dear God, we thank you and ask you for openness, and we just thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for giving us another chance to be better than we were yesterday and to live in our purpose, Lord. And we thank you, Lord, for just surrounding us with clarity and surrounding us with safety, Lord. We just thank you and just keeping us clean and keeping us focused and keeping us driven. And we didn't have to do it, but you did, Lord, and you continue to allowing us to prosper in so many ways, Lord. If just financially, if it's spiritually, if it's emotionally, Lord, and just to give back to ourselves. And we just thank you, Lord. We just thank you for just having roofs over our heads and breath in our bodies, Lord, and we can just feel our hands and toes. We just thank you for everything you have done for us. And this year that is coming up will be nothing but prosperous and new journeys and purposeful. And we just ask you I'm just so excited because we just know how giving you are, and you already know who we are, and we're still learning us, and we want to be closer to you, Lord. Just plant our foundation and harvest our soil, Lord. We just thank you and just sprout the seeds and allow us to bring in revenue and to release revenue to others so they can plant their seeds and to trust in us, Lord. We just thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Podcast 25. It's a wrap.